Usually when you buy a new computer, you have a few things on hand if you're replacing an old machine. For example, keyboard and mouse. So in this video, I'm gonna show you the top 5 accessories you have to get if you're picking up a desktop for the first time or you wanna replace some of that old USB-A type equipment. If you found this video by it being suggested, I do all things related to Apple. The good and, well, the bad. If that sounds like your thing, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and more importantly, turn on that notification bell so you won't miss my next video when I post it. Thank you. Now, since I've been using Apple computers, I've bought my fair share of Magic keyboards, mice, and trackpads. Some people make a weird face about that last one. That's because, well, it's kinda weird if you don't use a laptop that much. I mean, they're pretty much like trackpads, hence the name. Now, I've been using trackpads for years, and to be honest, I have a hard time using a mouse after using it. I love the simple gestures, and they obviously translate well using a laptop. Now, Apple has done an awesome job expanding on what they do, and it makes it pretty intuitive once you get used to it. Yes, these are the first accessories, people. I wasn't gonna make it wait till last and disappoint you completely. I'm also counting these as one, because you can't have one without the other. However, many people don't, will not, and won't try any of those three. Mainly because they think they're overpriced and they don't work. Look, I totally get it. So, to appease those folks, I'm gonna show you some other options that you might like better. I love my MX mouse. Now, it doesn't feel like I've had it for long, but apparently I have because Logitech has like 7 different kinds at all different price levels. But man, these things are comfortable and they work well. Now, the one I'm using is about 99 bucks. Now, of course, they do have less expensive ones. I'll leave a link for a few in the description. Now, a keyboard that I got at Christmas was also from Logitech, called the MX Mechanical Keyboard. There are a few different kinds depending on your taste. First, they have the mini and the full size. But they didn't stop there. They have 3 styles of keys. Clicky keys, which has a satisfying click, tactile, which is quiet typing, and linear, which is smooth typing. I personally went with the full size and clicky, and that retails for about 166 bucks, and the mini retails for about 149. Now, if that's above your budget, Logitech does have ones that cost a lot less money, and those are absolutely killer too. Trust me, I've tried my fair share of Logitech keyboards, and they're awesome. Okay, now that these are out of the way, let's go ahead and move on to some serious stuff. If you're someone that uses a camera, audio recording, or really anything that uses an SD card, you need a reader because
Apple decided to not put it in.
Calm down. You need one if you're transferring stuff to the machine.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Now, one that I've used for a long time is the Kingston Digital USB 3.0 multi-card reader. Say that name 10 times fast. Now, sometimes I'll record my audio separately from my video, and those have separate ports for micro SD and regular SD cards. So having the ability to plug those in does save me a few minutes. But I will be honest, it's old, they haven't updated it in a long time. I mean, heck, it's got compact flash on it for God's sakes. Oh, and I also have to fiddle with it sometimes to get it to recognize my cards. So, I don't know if it's something that I would recommend anymore. I don't know, maybe the newer ones will be fine. A couple other issues I have with card readers today is the cord is too short and it's permanently attached. A lot of times people use these for laptops since Apple removed the SD card slot. They did bring it back, so that's a bonus. But if you got an older machine, you still need one. Now, they don't need a wire to be long for obvious reasons. Now, also, many of these readers have more than just the card reader on. I mean, they got a ton of different ports and all power things. And look, if you're plugging it into the Mac Mini, you don't want to have to constantly move it around to get to the reader. I have a suggestion that might work better for all those other ports. We'll talk about that in a later video. Coming soon. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. Now, just for a simple card reader, this one from Prograde will be the last one you'll ever have to buy. It comes with 2 SD card slots, and they both download at the same speeds, even if you use them at the same time. Also, unlike many other card readers, this has a USB-C port. So, If you need a longer cable, you can get one. Yeah, I know you could get an extension cable with those permanent ones, but it looks ugly, and you know what? There's a chance that it could slow down the performance. Now, this particular one I'm talking about is a perfect companion if you're picking up a new Mac Mini. Now, it is 80 bucks on Amazon, and I know it sounds a little steep, but listen, you will not be disappointed. Now, I do want to say that compared to the internal card reader that I use on my Mac Studio, and the Kingston, well, the transfer speeds are about the same. But unlike the Kingston, this one just works. I mean, seriously, it gets annoying when you have to fiddle with it every time you use it. Get your mind out of the gutter. Now, I've tried many other card reader accessories for my laptop too, and they're just not good. Prograde does have other variations too, depending on the type of cards that you use. I'll go ahead and link them down in the description. What did you think of that one? Would you pick it up? Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know that, and which one you are using if you use one. Let's get serious here. How about monitors? Now, these things have gotten a billion times better since I was a kid. Really showing your age there, dude. Now, it's really tough to just pick one because everybody has different needs on what they want. You've got high display resolution, high refresh rates for gameplay, and of course, screen size. Of course, let's not forget the most important thing. What's your budget? I could tell you to go get the Apple Studio display because it looks great, but it's $1,600 minimum. If you've got the ducats, then be sure to go check it out. It's really cool. But if you don't have that type of budget, well, you can spend a few $100s and up as well. Brands that I do like and have used in the past are BenQ, LG, which I'm using right now, Asus, and even Samsung. Yes, Samsung. I have seen so many videos about people talking about the Samsung M8 monitor. It's 32-inch UHD and HDR. It is so much besides just being a monitor. I mean, you can watch TV on the thing. And they do call it a smart computer monitor. I don't know, it does a lot. Right now, that's on sale at Amazon for 517 bucks. Now, of course, if that's too big of a monitor and too pricey, I do have a few from Asus that I really like, and the price for these things are really good too. Also, another awesome thing about these are they have HDMI, so you're not taking up that USB-C port. I'll be sure to leave a link for those down in the description. It's really tough for me to sit here and try to figure out what the best monitor for you is. So here's my advice. Check out what you like, read the reviews, and watch some YouTube videos. And of course, if you have any questions, go ahead and hit me up down below. I would love to help. And on your way down there, give this video a thumbs up. Now that you've got your keyboard and mouse, remember we counted those as one, card reader, and monitor, what else is a must-have before you start up that Mac Mini? You know what? That's a good thing you asked. Wait, I asked that. Listen, I talk to myself a lot. When I talked about speccing out your Mac Mini in one of my previous videos, most people were in agreement that the best thing for you to do is to get external storage if you want to save some money. Now, the other thing to mention was the collective when people found out that Apple was skimping on the baseline SSDs in their machines. Long story short, they use one slot instead of two for the smaller ones, and then when you get to 1 terabyte and up, they break them up into 2 slots, thus making them faster. At the end of the day, the 256 gigabyte on the base and the 512 on the Pro are fast enough to edit, and pretty much everything else most people are going to be using it for. So you should be good. Now, also in that video, I talked about how I was able to edit from an external SSD. If you missed that, well, let's talk about it. Storage has gotten so inexpensive these days. Unless you need a ton of it, well, I would definitely suggest going with SSD drives, especially if you're accessing things right off of it and running it on your machine. Needless to say, I have used so many drives in my life, it's not funny. You can spend a lot or a little depending on what you need. Just a couple that I really love. The Samsung T7 drive is probably one of the most popular out there. I have one and I absolutely love it. It's great because it's USB-C, it's fast, compact, and affordable. The 500 gig version is just 70 bucks, but the 1 terabyte is only $99, and if you need more storage, you got the 2 terabyte at $169. Another drive that I absolutely love that I talked about in that previous video was the Sobrent Rocket Nano. The 512 gigabyte version is $82. The 1 terabyte is $119, And the one that I got way back in 2021 was $279. Right now, it's $229. Not bad. Now, just for comparison, Apple charges $200 to upgrade the base M2 to 512 and another $200 to go to 1 terabyte. $400. Now, the M2 Pro upgrade to 1 terabyte from 512 is $200. So essentially, for example, if you pick up a 1 terabyte drive, which I talked about anywhere from $100 to $119, you now have 1.256 terabytes of space on your base Mac Mini and 1.512 terabytes on the M2 Pro. And the speeds on these drives are plenty fast enough, and you can save a good bit of money. You don't have to get an SSD if you're just using it for storage. One of the premier rugged drives from LaCie has a 5 terabyte on sale for $169. I mean, it's gonna take a little longer to transfer the files back and forth, but you have 5 terabytes. I mean, go get a snack or a drink while you're waiting. Now, I do have a bonus item that also happens to be a necessity. If you're hooking up all this stuff to your new Mac Mini, ports may be running a bit short, and who wants to keep plugging and unplugging the external drive from the back all the time? Good thing my favorite company, Anchor, has all the options. They make just simply USB-A hubs, USB-C hubs, and many other kinds that you can hook up and leave on the front of your machine. Now, I've looked these over for probably about 2 hours over the last few days, and I was able to find budget ones and ones that were a little more expensive. Look, USB-C hubs are definitely not as cheap as USB-A hubs. Also, if you happen to find one that's got a bunch of ports on it, well, it still has to go through that one USB-C port on your machine, and that has limitations. So we're gonna go ahead and keep it simple in this video. I'm not gonna talk about the big boys like CalDigit. That's for another time. USB-A hubs have definitely come a long way. I mean, I've got one in mind right now. I think it's a 7. It works awesome. They have a number of options from as simple as 4 to 10 ports. Are they the fastest? No. But if you need to hook up other stuff that's not with your monitor or with getting speeds to transfer, you'll be just fine. If you need more USB-C ports, there are options too, but those come with so much more. You may not need USB-C ports for your monitors or data. Maybe you just need them for power. Here's a couple options, but like I said, they aren't cheap, and I'll leave the links in the description. Could you find other brands that have more? Sure. But if they aren't known, I would be careful. And like I said, not all USB-C ports are for monitors or data transfer, so you gotta be careful. And that goes, of course, for everything else I mentioned in this video. You can pick up off brands and be totally fine, or you can have issues and you may not be sure where those problems come from. I mean, you probably can figure it out real simple. If you have any questions about anything in today's video, please be sure to leave a comment down below and I will do my best to help. By the way, did you see my last video about another product I thought was gonna be absolutely awesome? No? Again, check that out right here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on notification bell so you won't miss my next video. See ya.